We are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you're joining us from. Um, we are here with James, and I'll let you introduce yourself in a second. This is part of a series where we basically break down the entire year to individual months. And in every month, we talk about the different theme or what we can do in order to raise awareness. So, this is a full security awareness plan. What I love about it is dynamic. Every month, we see what's happening and we plan for it. So, James and I have a lot to share with you. Last month we talked about it was the month of love, so we talked about building relationship with the different departments. We had a lot of ideas, and this month it's themed around March Madness. So we're going to talk about engagement and games and how to achieve that. So, yeah, let's start with first of all introducing yourself, and then we can just get into it.
Cool. Thank you. And thanks, Gabby, for having me. I do have to do the boring official disclaimer first.
Go ahead.
So all the opinions and observations I express today are my own and not that of the organization I work for. But I work for Aviva, and that's AVEVA, not the insurance company. We make industrial software. So I'm the security awareness and culture person here. I've been here almost 2 years. I'll be 2 years in May, doing security awareness for them. I'm still relatively new, I'd say, to security awareness. So I started it November 2019, I think it was. So coming up on 5 years, and yeah, loved every minute since. And what I really like about security awareness is the kind of industry that we work in. Everybody is so kind of like giving and generous, especially Wizer, Gabby, and the team. There's so much kind of resource that people just give out there for free, and happy to kind of chat over that kind of resource and stuff, and crowdsource ideas, help with support, share what's working, share what's not. So it's a really good industry to be in.
Cool. So first of all, 5 years is not that new. We started to see security awareness pick up, more and more. What it was forever, but the role of security awareness manager, I think that's starting. I see more and more job posts around that, which I'm really happy because people understand that it requires a specific skill set, and they see the value of that. Um, and second, I want to mention that I've met you about, I think, a year ago on our security awareness community that we do every Thursday, if I'm not wrong.
Mhm.
And it's a great community of a bunch of security awareness managers. And, every week we have a few more. So you are welcome to join us. I'll let Ayelet maybe comment somewhere in the comments how to find us. But it's a great community where we share different topics and things we work on and challenges, just like you mentioned before. So, we're month three, and like I said, we're gonna focus on engagement. And in order to focus on it, first of all, let's define what is engagement, because different people have different ideas of what is engagement. So, James, how do you consider engagement?
Sure. No, great question. I think sometimes there is that kind of not issue as such, but words are kind of thrown around, and they mean different things to different people. So for me, engagement kind of refers to people like either participating in, interacting with, or kind of getting involved with activities, webinars, games, even optional training. I would say is kind of engagement. Probably not so much on the mandatory kind of side, because people don't necessarily have a choice, and it's really that kind of like two-way communication, I think. So it's not just that kind of like push similar to the mandatory training, get this done or read this policy, comply with this, and kind of acknowledge those kind of things. So it's definitely that kind of participation, interaction, that kind of stuff for me anyway.
So I think a good example that I usually give people, it's think about LinkedIn, right, or any other social media. If you post something, you know and nobody engages with it, you know what it feels like, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's having just people view it which is
Mm.
great, is not really enough. That's not proper engagement. So there's like light engagement where people give you this thumbs up. There are
Mhm.
people who comment. So that's sort of the two-way communication we spoke about. But for me, the really highest and most quality engagement is when we get to know people, right? When we message people and we get to know them, and then we join the community, like we did. So I think this is sort of the different level of engagement. And it's not just about how many people watched our videos or how many people opened our emails that we sent internally. So we want to get to that high engagement, and that's not easy. Expecting to get high engagement from the get-go is unrealistic. It's just the same as expecting to get tons of comments with a new profile on LinkedIn. Like, it's hard. It's possible,
Mm.
but it's hard. So the expectations are really different from the mandatory training that we push out, right? Like we
Mhm.
push out training and we expect 100% view rate and 100% on the test. When it comes to the engagement part, we can't expect anything like that. So let's talk about a few examples um, of engagement. And you've shared with me a really cool game that you were working on. And
Mhm.
I got really excited because a few things. First of all, um, you did it yourself, which shows that you don't really need to buy sometimes fancy tools to get things done. And that's sort of something that is admirable. And I want you to share that if you could. And the game itself is really cool.
Sure.
So, and it creates exactly that engagement that we are looking for. So, yeah, if you want to share your screen and let's show the audience what I got excited about, at least.
Yeah, no worries. And I'll give a bit of a backstory
Yeah.
as well of why I kind of created it. So kind of following on from what you were saying about kind of engagement and how kind of valuable and stuff it is. So we were kind of like measuring stuff. So people reacting to our Yammer posts or internet articles, commenting on them. You can also have people signing up and attending webinars, people participating in optional activities and things. Even potentially people that just kind of come to security and ask questions. I think that would definitely kind of categorize as engagement. And depending on what kind of tools and stuff you got, if you send out newsletters and things, you can measure who read and clicked on email notifications. But I wanted to take this kind of a bit further and really kind of get the kind of audience as such engaged. Um, and I was asked to do a couple of presentations later on this year to graduates and interns and cohorts of that nature. And I didn't just want to do a kind of what could be seen as a boring presentation or something. I wanted something a bit more kind of fun, a bit more interactive, and where people will be engaging with me. So I took inspiration from, I'm sure people have heard of living security to kind of escape rooms, took inspiration from some of the kind of Wizer content, all the kind of different security awareness providers out there. And I called it an escape room. It's not really an escape room as such, but I'll just present
And
my
and while you're presenting, I
screen.
want to touch something that you said earlier that I think is
Sure.
really important. So you spoke about sort of how you measure engagement, right? All of those, like you said, comments and likes and all of those things. Um, it's really important to measure those things. So take the time. There are different tools out there that you can collect or do your Google Sheets or whatever. But I think it's really important to measure this to see if you're getting better.
Mhm.
So not just like looking at it as a campaign and that's it and done. You want to collect that information, save it somewhere, and it'll be really cool later for management to sort of see that growth. You can tell them, look at how many people are engaging. Look at how many people. Here is a few things people had to say. Like
Mhm.
when you share with the entire company, some of the stuff that people shared, and you sort of do a summary or a newsletter of, summarizing the engagement that you had. It really helps to build that security culture inside the organization. Cool. So with that said, let me, yep, you've
Cool.
got the stage.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So yeah, like I said, I've called it an escape room, but it's not really an escape room as
I called
such.
it James Quest.
Yeah, Gabby came up with a good one called it a quest. So I think I will kind of change it to a quest. And this is just made in PowerPoint. I'm sure you could probably do something similar in Google Slides. I forget what they called it.
Google
Slideshow?
Slides.
Yeah, slides. So I'm sure you'd be able to kind of replicate it. There's a hell of a lot of stuff going on in the background. So if you looked at the slides itself without in presentation mode, it is a bit confusing. But essentially, it all kind of works just by just kind of clicking on the various kind of like hyperlinks or hotspots within the presentation. So what I wanted to do was do something that was a bit more that would resonate more, I guess, with the audience. So it's specific about the organisation that I work with, and that we do industrial software. So this one's all about that we need to kind of defend our latest product. So they'll be given the backstory that oh, I jumped a bit too quick there. Be given backstory that we're looking to defend Aviva, and we need to figure out what the kind of criminals were doing to try and get our software. So first thing we'll just kind of pose a first question would be, so what are people looking to, or what are the criminals looking to steal? So if people weren't paying attention to my introduction, they might think, oh, they're looking for money. So if you click on money, it's like, oh no, that's not right, you need to try again. And another great idea that Gabby came out with was to have like a little kind of a 60-second penalty or 3-minute penalty points on here, which I need to add. So go to try again.
But before we continue, I just want to, because when we were talking before, it's how you set it up. So this can be a competition, right?
Yeah.
So you can have different groups working together. So it doesn't have to be the whole company. It can be on different days, and then I don't know exactly how you're going to set it up, but just to sort of like explain to people how this will basically play out. Potentially, you can have groups of 4 or groups of 5. You can have 5 groups, 10 groups, whatever. Each one has sort of a copy of this, or all of them are working on the same one. And that's why you spoke about the 30-second delay if you get it wrong, because the end goal is to get to those crown jewels, which, any company can set up whatever they think their crown jewels are. You did one thing, another company can do another thing. So we want to get as fast as possible to those crown jewels. So if we just click, we're going to be on delay. So as a group, we actually have to think before we click. And that sort of like explains this. That's it. I'll let you continue.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. And this is the first big disclaimer. First time I've explained it to to anybody. It's all been
I got really
my head
excited when I saw it. So, that's why I'm like jumping in, and the things that I was excited about.
Thank you. So yeah, the correct answer would be AutoX. So you click on that one, and that takes you to the first puzzle. So probably what I should have explained at the beginning as well is that for each puzzle, we'll have somebody that kind of is the team lead. So they'll have like an artifact or intelligence that will give them a bit of kind of instructions prompt, and then the rest of the team will have more artifacts for them to do a bit of research. So this one is asking about, so who are the criminals likely to target? So the team leader will have a bunch of information with a few kind of credentials and things saying, where the person might specifically work, what car they might drive, where they might be located, what their job title might be, things of that nature, and then they'll be relaying it to the rest of the team. Well, they'll be looking through the different kind of profiles we've got here, and be say, oh yeah, that matches this one, so I think it's that. And another point to mention on this is that I didn't use AI to create the slides and stuff, but what I did use AI for, as in ChatGPT, to write me all these profiles for these different people. So I got ChatGPT to write the profile for each of them, write a social media post and all that kind of stuff to just make the hard work easy, basically. So yeah, the team would be looking through and they'll be like, oh, I think it's Chanel. So then we'd click on Chanel and be like, oh no, you got it wrong, try again. But then they'll probably look through a bit more detail and be like, oh, I think it's Donna. Click on Donna, and yeah, you've got that right. I think what I'm going to do is add in extra slides as like a code word or something for people to get, so it doesn't just jump onto the next question. But then this question is open to all the team. And these are just obviously very well, maybe not obvious to some people, but just kind of like simple kind of prompts, because if remember, these are going to like kind of new hires, graduates, that kind of thing. So it's just to get their kind of thoughts about security. So what should you do on social media? And hopefully most people know share of care. Sorry, Gabby, you can say so.
Yeah. So if you go one slide back,
Yeah.
potentially what companies can do is they can, if they think about it, in advance and they have time. Again, this is PowerPoint, right? So they can plug in pictures of real people that work there. So for example, if the end goal is to get to the source code, maybe the right person to attack is the CTO, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it's not the CTO, maybe it's the product guy, whoever that is. So you can have different profiles of pictures of people that actually work in the company, which will make it even more relatable to the people who are playing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. That's a good idea. Obviously, get people's permission before
yeah,
you,
absolutely.
before you do that. Cool. And then yeah, so this one is share with care. I think I've just got one more example. I think. Oh yeah. So this is another well, not another example, but a example of where I've kind of teamed up with our marketing and content team. So I was scouring different kind of images and things, trying to find a kind of home office with a few kind of like security issues lying around and things. And I just couldn't really find a decent one. I tried kind of mocking up something myself, but I don't have any kind of like specialist tools or anything. So I hit up the content studio, the marketing team, and just said, I want this kind of thing created. Can you help me out? And they created this for me, which is pretty cool. And essentially, this would be where we'd give the team a whole bunch of different kind of like security issues or violations that could happen at home or even in the office, I guess. And then what they'd be doing is looking through the scene, counting them up, and then they'd just choose how many they can count up.
Nice.
So yeah, and obviously you can add more than what's on here, so people can kind of almost take those kind of artifacts as a bit of kind of something to refer to. You could even, I'm sorry, I'm thinking on the spot now. You could even take it further and have the kind of articles or artifacts, reference materials on your intranet. So then people could be looking on the internet to kind of get this information, which adds a bit more kind of scavenger hunt type stuff,
Yeah.
maybe. Probably just making more work for myself now. But that might be a way to go and gets more people onto the internet. The past couple of organisations I've worked at before, internet views are not the highest. But yeah, something like this may potentially help. So from
Cool.
memory, I think it's 8. I haven't put
But
the
I wouldn't,
hypercolon.
yeah, if people are watching it from your organization, you're going to now
Yeah,
discover, you're going to show them all the answers. Um,
totally.
but what I really like about this, again, companies can do different things, but, kudos to you because it shows that, you can, like, again, I guess you're not a programmer unless I don't know, right?
No, I'm not.
So you took PowerPoint and you built this and you went ahead and you talked to the marketing team, and this is exactly the stuff that security awareness managers can do. And this is on top of the mandatory, I guess, right? This is probably optional,
Yeah.
and it creates some collaboration and teamwork because the groups of five get to talk. And again, maybe not the entire company will show up. Maybe it's going to
Hmm.
be like 15 people, but that's fine, right?
Hmm.
It's going to be fun and they're going to talk about it. And next time, there are going to be more people that are joining. So
Hmm.
we don't have to expect the same result of 100%, participation, like we do with the forced training.
Hmm.
Um,
Definitely.
cool. So let's move on, unless you want to show the entire thing.
No,
Up to
no,
you.
that's good.
Okay.
That's good.
So a few things that I think are important, and it actually leads to the second question that I had, but we almost like answered it. Is like, what are the tools that a security awareness manager, what's in their toolkit? And I'm curious about the things that are beyond the security awareness, training program that you have, whether it's Wizer or anything else. This
Mhm.
is sort of like the program that you run, but there are so many things that we can do beyond that. So,
Mhm.
what do you think, first of all, are the skills that are needed from a security awareness manager? And do you suggest any tools, or what are the tools that you're using for, we know the PowerPoint is one of them, but what
Mhm.
other things are you doing to create some of this optional content?
Sure. Yeah, no worries.
And
I
also how
think in
often you do that?
yeah, no worries. Yeah, I think in this kind of role, you do need to have a. I mean, I don't have a marketing background or this kind of sales, but essentially we are kind of like selling stuff to people almost. So I think having that kind of marketing or sales, not necessarily background, but that kind of thought definitely does help. That kind of either eye-catching image or words or something to kind of draw people in to your content definitely helps. And for the kind of tools and things that I use, I try and use as much as call it free, but I guess it's not necessarily free, just stuff that we've already kind of got. So obviously Microsoft isn't free, but because of you get it as standard at my organization, try and use that as much as possible. I even use like PowerPoint to create infographics. Obviously, you can use Adobe or Canva, which you could probably get something a little better with like fonts and images potentially. But if you don't have budget, or it's just easier to use PowerPoint or the stuff that you've got easy for you to get to. Then I think that's totally fine. And I do find PowerPoint much easier to use. I don't really use it for the purpose it was intended, I guess. But it works well
I think it was
for my
intended for
needs.
a lot of stuff. It really did,
Yeah, definitely. And in terms of the kind of um, drumbeat of the stuff that I do, I try and do at least kind of like one main kind of infographic or message or content or something per month. And I guess for this month, the end of March is well, backup day, which I guess you could almost argue that you don't have to backup anymore because it's just all automatically taken care of. So what I kind of use for World Backup Day is just more talk about data in general. So kind of made just a kind of a quick infographic on that for people to kind of know about the data that they're handling, who they're sharing it with, where they're storing it, all that kind of stuff. Sorry, I've gone a bit off topic there. And then the another tool I think is heavily underrated, and I don't know if many people know about it, but Outlook Mail Merge. So, if you just receive and if you're using kind of email notifications and stuff, you receive an email that looks like it's gone to the whole organization, or it's not titled to you, or it's not this something that it's just generic. You probably you might open it and think, oh, it doesn't relate to me, I'll just close it. Or you open it and be like, yeah, this means nothing to me. So I've used Outlook Mail Merge for the past few years, which essentially it's like almost like a direct marketing tool. So it allows you to kind of really personalize that message. So you can pretty much add in any field of data that you've got. So you can have first name, you can have where the person works, where the country that they're based in. You could shout out for catching how many fishes they've caught in the month or the year or anything of that nature. So it really allows you to kind of like give that personal message to a whole number of people, but without that kind of having to type 600 emails or
Yeah.
something. So a really good example for that. In October, I ran a fishing tournament. So that was where people opted in, and that had amazing engagement, I would say. So 6,500 people. We had 1,400 people opt in, so it's completely optional, but 1,400 people
Amazing. I love
decided
that.
to play. And at the end of it, I was able to provide a certificate for playing, and then also because we had the kind of data behind it, how many fishes they'd caught in that month. So it was really kind of personalised. It was a certificate with their name on, the number of fishes they caught, and that kind of stuff. And I sent it to like 1,400 people. Obviously, me typing to 1,400 people would be a lot of time, but this was probably like maybe 10 minutes or something with the Outlook kind of just throwing it out for you. But that's something that people received, and it looked like it's just for them. It's not a generic certificate. Well done everybody for playing. It's something that they can kind of keep and have. So I think that definitely is a definite good tool to work. I assume Google probably does something similar. And then the other thing as a toolkit, which isn't necessarily a tool, but just kind of collaborate with teams. We kind of briefly touched on it earlier. The marketing team, communications team. In some places, I've seen like hook up with the safety team. So I'm responsible for physical security as well as cyber security. So kind of making the connections with the safety team, because a lot of the kind of safety and security go hand in hand. That's a real really helps. And also, if you've got a like a health and well-being team, there's some good kind of stuff where you can kind of connect security together. I saw there's some good content that came out. I won't mention the vendor or anything, but it was about kind of the decisions that you make when you're not in like a mindful space. Those kind of rush decisions and stuff and everything. So it's not actually kind of like security training, but it's just thinking about how you're thinking at the time when you receive something that could potentially be an incident or an issue or something like that. So it's just having that kind of a mindset to step back and clear your thoughts.
Cool. So, a lot of things, I think maybe next time we can talk about the tournament you did, because that's really exciting. People tend to think, fishing in general is like we're attacking our employees. But in this case, you had about 14,000 that opt in. So that's
Mhm.
amazing. And that's another type of game that I've seen multiple companies do very, very successfully. And I loved how you integrated those free tools that you spoke about to personalize it, because that's what marketing is all about. And our job is to market security awareness and to sell it to the employees. So one thing you spoke about, we spoke a lot about free tools, but um, I really think that security awareness managers should reach out to the finance team or whoever they have, but get a budget for
Mhm.
some tools. It's not a lot of money. A lot of those tools are like 20 bucks a month, 30 bucks a month. I think sometimes, focusing on those free tools and looking for them, you're spending more time trying to sort of hack those tools to get things done, and you spend like 10 hours instead of 5 minutes. So I really think, like, I don't know, like, if even if a few $100s a month would
Mhm.
go a long way. Some of the tools that, I know others, again, I'm gonna like just say a few of them, but doesn't mean that they are the best. Okay. So just keep that in mind. But tools that I've seen, people use, a lot is Canva, you
Mhm.
know, very easy to create templates for almost anything. If you're not a designer, again, there is a free edition, but there's also a paid edition, and again, doesn't cost a lot. And there's other tools similar to that, but I think it's a great tool to have in your toolkit. If you need to manage projects, you have like Trello and other tools that you can use to sort of manage the projects. You have obviously ChatGPT if you need some help. Having said that, just like you did, it helps you create profiles, but don't think that will be your creative tool. That's a sort of a co-pilot with you, right? It helps you. You bounce ideas. Don't make your content boring by just taking and pasting and taking and pasting, because people will feel that. So be cautious on how you use those tools. Fiverr, it's a great place to find people that can help you if you don't have if your team is too busy. Again, for like $10, 15. Fiverr was called Fiverr because it started with a $5 logo. So like projects were $5. Now it's more. But a lot of freelancers over there. And if you need to get something, a video created or something, designed, it could cost you like $25. It's not that much. And it will, you will overcome all of those barriers. I want to show something that I've done. There's also AI tools, a lot of them actually. Let me see if I can share this here. So I was playing. Okay, I was playing around with some tools. By the way, I'll share this link as well. This is sort of a summary of our awareness plan month 3. So we're really focused on AI. So I used some AI to create here a video of me talking different languages. And the game, we basically shared it on our Slack. And the game was like, how many languages does Gabby actually talk? And I talk more than one. So basically, this is what it looks like. I hope sound will come through. Otherwise, this is useless. Let's see.
The idea was simple: to create social media style content that will spread like wildfire. Cambiar el juego, transformar la conciencia de seguridad de esta tarea temida a algo provechoso. 4 साल बाद तेजी से आगे बढ़ें, और वाह क्या एक यात्रा! Lakhon लोगों ने हमारी चीजें देखी हैं. Oltre 20.000 organizzazioni usano la nostra soluzione di consapevolezza sicurezza e il prodotto di simulazione phishing. 一緒にすれば、それを基本的な生活のスキルにできます。
That's amazing.
Yeah. So this is just one example. And guys, it costs like $3. I don't know, remember, like something ridiculously cheap, which is a whole different topic, which we want to teach using this AI, because people should be very skeptical today when they see videos online. And as you can see, I was able to translate myself talking, different languages. So it is, voice cloning and deepfake, but you don't have to hire somebody to do that. And I think this was a great example to show people, so in a fun way, what level we are at and why they shouldn't believe what they hear and see online. So again, if you're a security awareness manager out there are tools out there that you can use, and you can generate those snippets of videos. You can create full, blown videos, honestly, from scratch using those tools. It takes really zero experience. So yeah, I'll share this link.
And remember all the, not necessarily maybe classed as a toolkit, but all the free resources like on Wizer's platform, and there's other platforms that kind of give out free resources. So definitely keep them in your favorites when you need kind of content or material.
Yeah, we have a lot of content. So this is a picture of our platform. This is a picture of Wizer, of the insight for the admin console. So if you go to training, awareness courses, and you have here a whole course around AI, and there's some fun videos over there. And even if you are not a customer and you just log in here for free, you can go in and you will see the videos, and you can grab them and you can share them internally. You can just send them on Slack, or you can send them. Those links were, we made them available so people can spread awareness. So by all means, feel free to use this content. So that was that. Hold on. We're actually a little bit over the time that I was planning. I have a lot of more to talk about. So a few other games that we had. We had a game. Again, we'll send them later here. Let's see if we put them here in the document. I don't remember, but we had a game of spot whether this image is real or not. So again, all of those activities you can do through Slack or Teams. Doesn't have to be through the platform. You can just create that engagement and let people play it and comment, this is real, this is not, and have them argue about what's what, and even have them tell why they think it's fake, because by doing so they will be telling everyone the things they spotted. So that creates that, look at the mouth, look at the there's no emotion, stuff like that. So basically they're doing the training for you. So I think it's really good to deliver that, conversation out of the awareness platform into Slack, Teams, and so forth. So all of those videos are available and you can download them from our platform. And yeah, again, I have a lot more to talk about, but we're over time. Any closing thoughts?
I'd just say maybe have a look at all the kind of tools and things you've got available to yourself now, and then see what what is missing, if there is anything missing, and like Gabby said, maybe go to the whoever kind of controls the budget and be like, I need this little bit of money and I'll make so much kind of impact.
Yeah, you have to demand that money. You have to have some tools, just like marketers have tools. You're sitting almost on the same spot. They market externally, you're marketing internally. So either you can maybe reach out to them and have another seat assigned to you with using the tools they have, because marketing teams have a lot of those tools that I spoke about. So you can ask for another seat. But yeah, tell people, look, I need to market this internally. I need a budget, and I don't think the security awareness, program we purchased is enough. That's great, but I'm here to create engagement, and I need more tools. So, and then again, do the work, right? Don't assume that just buying tools will make things happen magically. So buying
Definitely.
means you're going to work harder. But it's fun and it's rewarding, and you've been doing it for 5 years, so I guess you have fun doing it.
Yeah, I love it.
All the AI and tools and stuff, we're becoming better and we're getting to talk. So I think it's an amazing role. Anybody that is looking to enter to the cybersecurity space, it's not only about hacking, right? It's not about pen testing. It's not only about those things. It's a lot. You can enter the cybersecurity domain by, for example, being a security awareness manager, and you can, if you have skills in marketing, if you've done social media and you're good at it, this can be the perfect job for you. So that's it, James. Thank you very much for joining us. And yeah, next month, what do we have on our plan for next month? Just to quickly look at it. Oh, it's all about, I'm going to share this. So next month, this month we were talking about artificial intelligence. Next month we have tons of stuff around the family, which goes back to creating those, security awareness culture. And what's better than talking about family? You want people to go home and become ambassadors of security awareness, right? And that's sort of also Wizer's mission. And I think it's a great mission for everyone to spread awareness, because it impacts everyone, not just companies. That's it. Thank you very much. Until next time. And once again, James, thanks for joining us and sharing your thoughts.
Cool. Thanks for having me. Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everybody. Take care.